The city lay cloaked in darkness, the kind of darkness that crept into the soul. Rain slicked the streets, washing away nothing but leaving a cold, empty despair in its wake. In this city of shadows and shattered dreams, a single beacon of light had once existed: Eric Draven, a musician with a heart full of love, and Shelley Webster, the woman who made his world complete. But love, in this cruel city, was not immune to tragedy. On the eve of their wedding, a gang of ruthless criminals broke into their apartment. Their laughter was as cold and hollow as the violence they unleashed. Shelley was taken from Eric in a storm of brutality, and Eric himself was left lifeless, a victim of senseless cruelty. The city moved on, indifferent to their cries, indifferent to their love. But some things refused to be silenced. A year later, as the anniversary of that cursed night approached, a crow, a creature said to be a guide between the living and the dead, landed on Eric's grave. Its piercing cry shattered the silence of the cemetery, and moments later, the earth trembled. Eric Draven clawed his way back to the surface, his pale skin marked by the grave, his eyes blazing with vengeance and sorrow. The crow, now his ethereal companion, guided him back to the city he once knew, a city that no longer resembled the life he had. But his purpose was clear. The faces of those who wronged him and Shelley burned in his memory, and the crow whispered their names. Eric painted his face, a ghostly white mask with black streaks of sorrow and rage. He became a specter of vengeance, a symbol of pain transformed into justice. The gang, led by the cruel and charismatic Top Dollar, was scattered across the city. Each member reveled in chaos and destruction, unaware of the storm brewing in the shadows. Eric's first target was Tintin, a knife-wielding thug who prided himself on his savagery. Tintin stumbled into a dark alley, his senses dulled by drink and arrogance. But when Eric emerged from the shadows, moving like a phantom, Tintin's smirk vanished. Eric's voice was calm, almost haunting. "Victims. Aren't we all?" The fight was brutal and swift. Tintin's knives were useless against Eric, whose undead body healed with every wound. The final blow was poetic justice, leaving Tintin lifeless, his weapons scattered like fallen leaves. From Tintin, Eric reclaimed Shelley's engagement ring, a token of their love stolen on that fateful night. As the bodies of the gang members began to pile up, the city buzzed with fear. Each death carried a message: vengeance was coming. The crow, ever watchful, guided Eric to his next target. Funboy, a drug-addled sadist, met his end in a seedy motel, his laughter turning to screams as Eric confronted him. Skank, a jittery follower, was cornered in the ruins of a burnt-out bar. With each kill, Eric relived the pain of that night, but he also found fragments of peace. He wasn't just avenging Shelley, he was freeing his soul from the chains of despair. Top Dollar, the mastermind behind the chaos, was no ordinary criminal. He thrived on power and darkness, and he had heard the whispers of Eric's return. When Eric finally confronted him, it was in an abandoned cathedral, a place of twisted irony for their battle. The fight was fierce, a clash of vengeance and arrogance. Top Dollar, skilled and cunning, held his own against Eric's supernatural abilities. But the crow, Eric's eternal guide, became a critical player. When Top Dollar attempted to kill the bird, Eric's rage reached its zenith. Using the memories of Shelley's pain, Eric unleashed a torrent of emotion that overwhelmed Top Dollar, driving him to his death atop the cathedral's spire. With his mission complete, Eric returned to the cemetery where it all began. The crow perched on his gravestone, watching as Eric knelt by Shelley's resting place. Her spirit appeared, radiant and peaceful, her smile like the first light of dawn. She extended her hand, and Eric took it, feeling warmth for the first time since his resurrection. As the city continued its endless cycle of darkness, Eric and Shelley walked into the light, their souls finally at peace. The crow, now alone, flew into the night, its cries echoing through the city, a reminder that love, though fragile, could never truly be extinguished.